What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Mars and Moon synastry aspects in astrology. So right off the bat, characteristically speaking, Mars and the Moon are very contrasting kinds of energies. In a relationship, while they can have the same goals, it's their approaches that can be very different when it comes to Mars and Moon person. So the Mars energy might come across in a destructive way at times, whereas the Moon is perhaps more so gentle. It is a more softer approach. It's not to say that the Mars person is not emotional and that the Moon person is not assertive or driven. They definitely can be. So what really matters is how they affect each other, and that's where the aspects come in. And in a trine between Mars and the Moon in synastry, this can work quite well. Both of these energies coming together can really complement each other, and the Mars person can really help the Moon person, and the Moon person can help the Mars person to be better. Their differences really do spark an interest when it comes to them really being able to be very attracted to each other as well, and really being intrigued and fascinated by one another. So this does a relationship really well, especially in the long run, and keeping things interesting, and there's always that attraction between them. So with the trine, there is a very magnetic quality that exists between the two partners from the beginning, and things don't really get boring. This is a very interesting and charged pairing. The effect that the Moon person has on the Mars person brings out a more cooperative side in the Mars person. A more cooperative side comes out in them when they come together with the Moon person. So the Mars person may have, prior to being able to meet up with the Moon person and partner up with them, they may have been somewhat of rough around the edges, or they may have just simply been misunderstood and gone through situations that made them feel like they were misunderstood by a lot of people. And when they do get to meet up and partner up with the Moon person does provide that sense of really making the Mars person feel seen and even accepted. And this is what really kind of lowers that guard. The Moon person has a way about them. They're able to almost kind of nurture the Mars person's ego, and even has a way of being able to calm them down. While on the other hand, the Mars person is able to really encourage the Moon person and to hype them up as far as being able to stand up for themselves, and even to hype them up as far as being able to be more brave. And they can have a really healing effect on each other, especially when it comes to being able to heal an emotional side of themselves when it comes to the past. Both of the partners do and are able to take comfort in this partnership, and this can be very healing for both of the partners as well, especially when they're both encouraged by one another to be able to see parts of themselves from an emotional past that perhaps they would not have before, and even being able to heal that through this experience and this partnership. Still, with a soft aspect between the Moon and Mars, this synastry, whether it's a trine or a sextile, there's still going to be some ups and downs, especially what with this being very intense energy. It's very passionate kind of a connection between the Moon and Mars person. So there can be some ups and downs, especially when it comes to an emotional level between the way that these two relate. But with that, with every experience with it, there is always that opportunity for them to learn more, and even in hard times there's still a lot of interest. Like they could argue quite a lot before reaching a settlement on something, but there is still a lot of interest in being able to understand somebody else's point of view because it is so different. There's a lot of passion, and for the Mars and Moon person, that passion and that spark of interest is almost never lost. This aspect shows a very strong attraction between two people. Both could have a very defensive side, but with the Moon person, they more so go about it in the sense that they could shy away from conflict, or they could perhaps try to keep more of the peace so that they don't hurt anyone and they themselves can protect themselves from getting hurt. Whereas with Mars, it's the very opposite when it comes to conflict or combat and being able to defend oneself. So with the more hard aspects, such as the square or the opposition, there can be somewhat of a imbalance when it comes to the Mars person and the Moon person partnering up. And it's like the combination exacerbates the more negative sides of the Moon and the Mars person when they're together. A more needy or even demanding side comes out of the Moon person as a result of the influence of the Mars person on them, and a more brash side comes out of the Mars person as a result of the influence that the Moon person has on the Mars person. The aspects between both of the Mars and Moon person can feel very unstable and turbulent, specifically on an emotional level. And it can feel like intense passion driving this connection, and that can be the kind of passion that can really exhaust both the Mars person and the Moon person over time, and it can even wear them down. The Mars person can be very impatient with the Moon person,
even irritated
on an emotional level. Just like with the softer aspects, this aspect also makes for a lot of attraction, and both of the partners are very attracted to each other when they first meet. And with the harder aspects, so the opposition and the square, they could be quick. Things could start much quicker, so they could pair up very quickly. However, with these two having very different kind of places that they are coming from, when left to go too far, things can really potentially get difficult, especially when they both want to control each other and make each other see where they are coming from. Initially, there's a magnetic pull between the two partners, but however, in the negative, when left to go too far, this relationship can feel very all-consuming to both the Mars person and the Moon person especially. And overall, having this opposition or this square can be responsible for some difficulty. Well, that does it for this video on Mars-Moon synastry aspects. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to give this video a like, a subscribe to the channel, and to stay tuned for more videos. Well, that is where I love and leave you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys!